Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In today's video, we're going to continue our ongoing coverage of the crisis going on between the Russian Federation, Ukraine, and its Western allies. First, I want to go through a daily rundown of some of the mainstream news articles that are currently being reported about the ongoing situation. So first, Al Jazeera. Russia orders U.S. diplomats to leave as Ukraine tensions escalate. The Jerusalem Post. Despite war clouds, a Ukraine-Russian clash is unlikely. UA Wire. Russia begins large-scale military exercises near the Ukrainian border. Military Times. NATO chief says allies must prepare for worst in Ukraine. LBCI. Russia has stepped up planning for potential military action in the Ukraine, reported by Secretary of State Blinken. What else do we have here? Fox News. Putin demands NATO guarantee it won't expand eastward amid fears of Russian invasion. ABC News. Russia planning significant aggressive moves against Ukraine, Blinken warns. Civil Georgia. NATO says Russia has no right to control neighbors. Interfax. Ukraine. Ukraine can use direct talks with Russia, but Normandy format should remain. Ukrainian delegation to TCGC. And New York Post, you're out. Russian boots U.S. embassy staffers amid diplomatic row Ukraine tensions. And it just goes on and on and on. We have Russia, the Hill, Kremlin points to Ukrainian forces near the border, says Russia cannot de-escalate. So again, the tension continues, the movement of forces continue. Now Russia is reporting that the Ukraine is moving a lot of its maneuver units towards the east, and reports that quote unquote half of its combat forces have already been moved east of the Dnieper River, and are looking to quite possibly launch an operation against eastern separatists in the eastern portions of the Ukraine. But again, incredibly tense situation. It would appear that now Belarus has made guarantees to the Kremlin in terms of its participation in the event of an armed conflict. And what I wanted to have a look at just real quickly is the force composition of the Eastern Separatists, with my good old Rondelli Foundation map here. So we have two corps. We have the Donetsk Corps and then the Luhansk Corps. And the Donetsk is the 1st Army Corps, and Luhansk is you guessed it, the 2nd Corps. And these two corps would fall under the operational control of the 8th Army, the 8th Combined Arms Army. And that would include, but not limited to, this division right here, the 150th Mechanized Division. Obviously, this unit, fairly large unit with 3 motorized rifle regiments, 2 tank regiments, would most likely immediately advance into eastern Ukraine upon the kickoff of said conflict. But if we look at the force makeup of the two Eastern Separatist army groups, army corps, you can see that they're fairly well organized, and organized very similar to Russian units, to Russian counterpart units. The 1st Army Corps in Donetsk, and again this force here in all likelihood would focus its efforts towards Mariupol and quite possibly other areas and other towns in the southeast. And so the core breakdown, at least on the map, is comprised of 4 mechanized brigades, 2 mechanized regiments, 2 special forces battalions, 1 mechanized battalion independent, 1 tank battalion independent, 1 independent recon battalion, and 1 artillery brigade. And if we look at the composition of kind of what these brigades look like, we're first going to start here with an artillery brigade tactical group, 2 self-propelled howitzer battalions. Usually each battalion would have around 18 self-propelled guns. 1 reactive artillery battalion, that usually means it's a Katusha battalion, and then 1 anti-tank artillery battalion. Then we have 2 independent special forces battalions. You have a separate mechanized battalion, a recon battalion, tank battalion. So that entails 4 tank companies, 1 mechanized company, 1 recon platoon, 1 howitzer battery. So this would be a reinforced tank battalion. You're probably looking at around 40, 42 tanks, a mechanized company of probably 11 vehicles or so, a recon platoon, and a howitzer battery. The motorized brigades, mechanized brigades, vary in size and composition, but similar to a Russian unit of similar size and strength. So 5th Mechanized Brigade, 3 mechanized battalions, 1 tank battalion, 1 recon company, 1 sniper platoon, 1 self-propelled howitzer battalion, 1 howitzer battalion, 1 reactive artillery battalion, 1 anti-tank artillery battery, and 1 air defense battalion. The only difference that I can really see between this and an actual Russian motorized brigade is really not a lot. They're all usually 3 artillery battalions, and then obviously it has 4 maneuver battalions, 1 tank, 3 mechanized. So very, very close to an ordinary Russian motorized rifle brigade as well. And again, you can see this is a regiment, so 2 mechanized battalions and 1 tank company. So a bit under strength. And then if we go up north and we look at, no, I missed these 2 units down here. But obviously this is the holding force near Maripol, the 9th Mechanized Regiment, 2 mechanized battalions, 1 tank battalion, 1 recon company, and 1 sniper platoon, 1 self-propelled howitzer battalion, and 1 regular artillery battery. And then again, the 1st Mechanized Brigade Tactical Group. And if we go up north, and again, equal composition with the 2nd Army Corps, with 3 Mechanized Brigade, 1 mechanized regiment, 1 independent tank battalion, 1 recon battalion, and 1 artillery brigade. A little smaller than the Donetsk Army Corps, but nonetheless a fairly significant force construct in the event of conflict. So these total forces, I would estimate around 30,000 plus personnel are in these forces. And again, many of them are staffed by actual Russian officers. So a ways back, a lot of the localized commanders were either removed from their positions, or in some cases, quite possibly, in the event that they did not want to leave their commands, were forced out. And there was even the possibility of some assassinations that occurred in Russia, asserting its control with its own officers within these units. But again, incredibly tense situation. Lots of rhetoric continues. The expelling of diplomatic staff. It would appear right now the U.S. Embassy in Moscow is really a caretaker embassy right now. At one point, over 1,000 embassy staff. Now it's down to around 100 personnel inside the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. So again, could we see at some point the U.S. Embassy in Moscow close? I would say it's unlikely, but possible. Again, things are incredibly tense, getting tenser, and again, we will continue to monitor the situation and give you content for your consumption. Have a great day, everybody.